guys, welcome to the Drift Podcast. I'm Travis.
And I'm Ben.
And today we are joined by Josh from Joybreak. And here he is, you can see him now. So,
Yo, how you doing, guys?
yeah,
Not bad.
give us a bit of an introduction about yourself and why we're talking to you.
All right. Just first of all, thanks for having me on the show, guys. I'm big fan of the show.
Awesome. Our number one fan.
But I'm Josh. I am the owner of Joybreak, filmer, photographer, Australia. 27 years old, getting a bit old now.
Yeah.
Still look 16, but
Yeah, I was about to say, you look younger than me and I'm younger than you.
Yeah, you could be Ben's
Yeah.
dad. Like-
yeah, should be killing it in the nursing home, I reckon.
Yeah, man.
No, I'm still the oldest, so depressing.
But yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Just bit of an all-rounder. Start off as a photographer and then moved into video.
Yep.
And then things sort of took off from there, I guess.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
Did you start off with film photography or did you go straight into digital?
I definitely started off with digital
Yeah, okay.
in the beginning. So I just borrowed cameras from my dad and etc. And then when I was studying in TAFE, that's when I first experimented with 35mm and medium format.
Yep.
And developing and stuff like that. And then that passion grew on too. Like I love 35mm and just film in general.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sweet.
rad.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you actually did start sort of taking a mad interest into photography?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I do remember I made a sticker that said 2009 on it. So I think I found like a group of photos from 2009 that I started taking like photos of cars, etc. So I would say about 2009 is where I probably took it a bit seriously when I was taking photos. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, sweet. So at least 10
Yeah.
years, so been in it a while.
Yeah. Solid.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah.
Oh, that's mint. So, yeah, how did you get started into drifting from there then?
Yeah, right. My dad like always had imports around, and then I remember getting taken to like the Toyo Drift Nationals and like QR, like full look. I think it's full lock Toyo Drift
okay.
Nationals.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
I think Jesse mentioned it on the last podcast.
Mhm.
So roughly around that time is when I started getting introduced to drifting. I was just going because it was like this looked cool, and then eventually, I think it really set in around Parklands and the Gold Coast. On the Gold Coast.
Mhm.
Not sure you guys are familiar with that.
Yeah, I was there for one of the
Gold
early
Coast.
events. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably around
that's-
09. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's when I really started taking a lot of drift photos. That was like between Archie and Parklands. That's where like my roots are for like learning how to take like automotive photography.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's cool as.
Yeah.
And so you started off with photography at those places or
Yeah.
videography?
Photography. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
okay.
just primarily a photographer, and then
Mhm.
until I upgraded to like a 5D Mark II, which
Mm-hmm.
even had a video feature, then I like sort of taught myself how to start doing like video.
Yeah,
Oh,
nice.
that's cool as.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So what type of camera, if you can remember, were you rolling around with back then?
So I started off with a Canon 40D,
Okay.
which is probably a 10 or 12 megapixel camera.
Yep.
So that's pixel gurus, but
Would you have had many lenses that you would have used back then? Or?
Not really. I think I had a 70 to 300, which is like a kit lens,
Mm.
and a 50mm.
Yep.
I've always had a 50mm. It's like one of the better lenses to use for like just the perfect all rounder. To be honest,
definitely. Yeah, I love shooting with prime lenses. It's way nicer, I think. Less things to worry about, but especially when you're starting out, or you're basic at photography like me. But no, that's sweet. That's sweet. And so your first camera for video then was a 5D Mark II, did you say?
Yeah, 5D Mark II. Yeah, that was my I had a 5D. I upgraded to a 5D1. Had that for a couple of years, and then moved to the 5D2, which had the video feature. So then, just like slowly just forced myself to like get better and better on the video side, because I could see a few other guys are doing it at the time. More so for fashion and just other areas of photography that I was interested at the time. But no one in the like automotive world was really doing anything like that at the time.
Yeah, right.
Both doing photo and video, and then I like slowly started, obviously putting out videos and learning how to edit, etc. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
Do you remember what programs you would have been using when you first started doing video editing and stuff like that?
Yeah. For video, I've only used the one program, which is Premiere Pro, which is just like an Adobe one.
Yep.
It's one of like probably there's only real two major ones people use, which is either Final Cut or Premiere.
Yeah.
Which are very similar, actually. Like they're very similar, but yeah, I'd say anyone who wants to start video editing, I'd just go straight to Premiere. I think it's very user friendly for starters, and it's honestly not that complicated. You just have to it's more to do with your footage and how you put it together rather than the effects and what actually built into the program.
Yeah, no, sweet. I use the Cyberlink Power Director because it's free. So
yeah.
but it's not a bad little program too. You can get that for free every so often online. So to start off with, but if you have familiarity with Photoshop, then obviously Premiere Pro is definitely the choice because it's very similar in its interface and everything like that. So
yeah, kind of like each Adobe program like changes quite dramatically, to be honest. Like I've just started using Illustrator to like do my like bit more proper graphic design stuff for Joybreak, and the whole interface is like the shortcuts are different, the buttons are different,
right.
symbols mean different things. Like, but Premiere is an easy one to use compared to Illustrator and all that jazz.
Yeah, Illustrator's not too fun.
Yeah, we've tried.
Yeah, we tried.
So what drift cars have you had in that time then?
Yeah.
My first drift car was an MX-5.
Nice.
Which is the standard. God, I forgot what motor is in that. Like
was it an NA?
Yeah, just an NA.
Yeah, it would have been the 1.6. Yeah,
1.6 or 1.8 came in the pop-up lights, didn't they?
1.6. You can get the limited edition.
Okay.
British Racing Green ones, which my workmate has, that has the 1.8, but there was only 40 or 70 sold in Australia.
So America got shitloads, but we didn't.
Yeah, no, we didn't get very many of the limited editions. So.
Okay.
Yeah, it would have been a 1.6.
Nice.
So, bringing the roots there with the E86 style. So how did that go?
I had that. Dude, I really loved it, and still to this day, I tell everyone like I feel like that's one of the better cars that I've owned, just because of the handling. Like you're so spoiled when that's your first car, because it's like the handling is you don't really learn anything about handling because it's perfect. It's like 50-50.
Yeah.
Like I had independent suspension, like nice coilovers and big like sticky tires on it.
Yeah.
Like when I first had it. So like I didn't know like how good of a car it was until I got the 8.6 afterwards. Like the 8.6 was my next car. And I was like, shit, like this thing's hard to drive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I learned real quick that I had to like step up my game if I wanted to like keep this car and not bin it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, especially after going from the 8.6 to the 34. 8.6s are really hard to drive. Yeah. They're not easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to be in the mood for starters, and then can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, because the video just cut out on my side.
Oh, that's probably slowing down on your side before it'll slow down on us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. But yeah, you're not wrong, Ben. The 8.6 was definitely a learning curve for me.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
So give us a bit of a backstory on the 8.6. You have had that for a while.
Yeah. Okay. Oh man, I don't even know how long it's been, but it's definitely like plus 6 years now, I'd say. It was like fully Irish when I got it. It had the spotties.
Oh, really?
Yes, I remember you sending that photo through. That was priceless.
Yeah. even the fella who owned it, I forgot his name, but yeah, he was like real Irish too, like a real like when I went to buy the car, he's like offering me beers and stuff. I'm like, nah, man, it's all good. But yes, I kept the spotties and the super lights for a little while, and then I was like, yeah, no, I can't do this anymore. So then I like ditched all that stuff. It took me like a lifetime to sell those spotties in Queensland.
Yeah, it would have.
But yeah, and then
drive.
yeah, and then the hunt for like a T series 2-way,
yeah,
you name it. I had to like go through. Like the only thing it had on the car was just a full stainless exhaust system.
Mm-hmm.
Like an Irish spec one. I think I forgot what it's called. Jasma? No, not that's Japanese. Anyway, but yeah, I like had to do everything kind of like full bushes, arms, like suspension, coilovers. Like I've pretty much done everything to it down to the paint now.
Yeah,
so
true.
Over that time, like it's luckily I was like trying to find parts when like the spike hadn't gone up too much. So now that I'm like complete, like I'm in a good spot. Yeah. But if I break anything, then I'm like back to square one.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah. No, I remember you were searching for an axle for a while there as well, you know, like stuff's getting hard to find.
Don't even get me started on the axles. So I had to go custom billet for that.
Wow, really?
Oh, wow.
Holy shit.
I had to get two. Yeah, I had to get two of them. So I got the first one back, started driving, and then I realized there was like a slight wobble from the other side, and then I had to go back again and order another one.
No way. Was it expensive?
Yeah, like about 750 each.
Oof. Wow.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, with a bearing on
T series.
Yeah.
Well,
so
hopefully the little 4H won't shatter those.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
But the bearing by itself, like the larger bearing, the coil bearing, is like $110, and then the axle itself is $550. So
yeah,
it just adds up real quick, and like with labor and studs and the other crap that goes along with it. Yeah.
Was that made locally or ordered online?
Yeah, that was made locally in on the north side by a group called A9.
Right.
True.
Yeah, so they do custom like axles and diffs for like all the old Holdens and all the Geminis and stuff like that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I didn't even know that was around here.
Yeah,
that's rad.
Yeah,
there you go.
And the only reason I got those axles in the first place is because the old Geminis have a similar size axle that could be shaped to what the 23rd tooth axle system is, the T series.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the only reason I even had that like that size in the shop. Otherwise, it would be non-existent. Thanks to like all the Geminis and stuff that we have here in Australia.
Wow.
True.
There you go.
Wow, you learn something every day.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So I was pretty stoked when I found out I could at least get it. The price sucks, but
yeah. Well, at least you're set for life now.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, hope so.
Yeah.
Preferably.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
No, that's cool.
And so you've had the 86 for 6 years. What other things have changed on it?
On the 86?
Yeah.
It's still standard motor. It's still a big port. For a GE.
Actually, I have a question. Have you just had the same motor this whole time?
Yeah.
See, I bought my car like a year and a half after you bought yours, and I've been through 3 motors.
I'm a bit of I baby it when I'm not drifting though.
Yeah.
I look after my gear a lot, like warming up, and I
I
try
haven't
not to clutch it too much and
totally ruined it. Like the first motor was when I bought the car, the guy left the radiator cap off and I blew a head gasket. And then I found a cheap replacement motor. I put that in. And then 6 months into that, I left the oil cap off and drove up the mountain. I think you were there that night.
I was there that night.
Yeah. So I drifted and drove around and did whatever. And then I finally checked the oil like a week later and it wasn't even on the dipstick after I poured a whole bottle of oil in it. I'm like, uh-oh. And then I got a small port off Nick Russell. And that's been going great since forever.
You've got a problem with caps.
Nick's a good dude.
Yeah, Nick's great. They're rad, dude. But yeah, that's cool. Like, I would love to have not had to swap a motor out of that car.
Yeah. I'd love something. I won't lie, it's definitely getting a bit tired now.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's me taking a break for so long and driving my like semi-new healthy Yaris around, but
Probably,
yeah,
definitely that.
but the 86 is starting to feel a bit slow. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, they get like that
Yeah. Yeah.
very
And
quickly.
just driving with power steering like so often during the week, but when I hop back in it, like I can't even like you can't take the corners as hard because it's like pulling you down.
Yeah.
Like it's sort of like it's a bit off-putting because it's like pulling you into like towards a gutter rather than like turning into a corner because you're just like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did
so
get a
like
shock
I don't
there.
know if I'm driving slow just because I feel like it's just gonna fucking take me off. Yeah, but I still love it. It's like the most fun
Nah, it's a
car
good
like I
time.
think I'll ever drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Mm.
Mint.
And you recently painted the color of it as well.
Yeah, man, that was a few tears and blood and etc. going down with that whole exercise. I'll tell you that.
And you did it all yourself as well, from start to finish.
Yeah,
basically?
I was getting taught little things from like friends and family who have done the stuff before. Like I had to learn how to cut and weld like pieces in.
Yeah.
Oh, so you
Um,
did your own rust repairs for it as well?
Yeah, I did the corner windows because they were a bit dodge.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
that would have been a really rewarding process, being able to do that.
yeah, like looking back on it now, it is. Like, at the time, I was like, the time like all up, it took me about a month worth of prep, like I think start to finish, and like it was just like weighing down on me so hard. Like yeah, just every day, it turned into an 8-hour day, like every day.
Yeah.
And I was re-going over panels, and making them better and better as I was learning. Like every day, I sort of learnt more, and then I'm like, oh, that's not good enough. So I'll redo the roof or redo the left-hand guard, which
Yeah.
had like a slight ripple in it. And then I kept making it better and better. And then I was like, nah, like I just need to paint it now. Like I'm just gonna probably just gonna do the same thing and hit like a water barrier at Archie, and then that's it. Like back to square one.
Yeah. That's a scary thought.
Yeah.
Let's not think about that.
I just thought as well, even though you're the videographer, there would actually be the day where I got a video of you driving. And that was on the
Hey.
8-6 day at Archfield.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
True.
Yes.
Yeah. So
that was
there
a
you go.
great day.
Yes. Yeah.
That was
Bit of role
a
reversal.
while.
I think, yeah,
Yeah.
because that was the first time they ran the open track there, wasn't it?
Yeah. That was the
True.
first time it was like
Open. And
yeah.
then they offered free entry for 8-6 people because they knew we don't spend money on anything.
Yeah. Because I think had Fink just about to buy his 8-6 for the first time, I think, or his misso had bought hers or something. It was something like that. He just
Yeah,
recently
he had
got
another
into them
8-6,
anyway.
but
so,
yeah. That was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that many
Yeah.
8-6s in one spot in Queensland before.
Yeah.
It was,
It's
that was
pretty
cool.
rare.
I think that's probably the most amount of 8-6s consecutively running at one single time in Queensland as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. All right, well, let's get on to the photography and videography. Tell us a bit about Joybreak.
Oh man, I don't know where to start. Like, you got to hit me with another question with that one.
What made you start it then?
Okay, yeah, I can do that one. That I was shooting under my name Josh, like JDP,
Mhm.
for a long time, ever since nearly day dot of taking photos, and it was growing old real quick because I wanted to make stickers and it's stuff like that to hand out. And I really didn't like using my name for like automotive based work. It just
Mhm.
didn't fit. It didn't fit like if you're shooting editorials or weddings, it just didn't fit in. So I was thinking of a name for years, to be honest, and then I kept putting it aside because nothing would come up that would like fit the picture. And then I think one night at dinner, I was out with the Suzuka Run boys, and I told them I'm definitely like the first word's joy. I just don't know how I'm going to finish it. And that came from listening to Joy Division. Like I'm a big fan of that band.
Yeah.
And I was just like, it just summed it up when I heard Joy. It's like that. I knew it was going to be like a half English broken kind of like mixture of words. So I was like,
Yeah.
all right, Joy, like that definitely fits the picture. Like it's like, I just knew it was going to work. I just didn't know how to finish it off. And then it was actually Jag who came up with the break part. Yeah,
True.
Jag mentioned break, and I was like, Joybreak. I'm like, yeah, okay. I'll sit on that for a night just to be sure.
Hmm.
And then so like I think I just made the page the next day or something like that, and then just slowly started like working towards releasing it, and then it's pretty much how Joybreak was born. Like people think it's the start of my first and last name being J and K,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought was pretty funny because it does fit. But
Yeah.
that's not how it started.
No, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, that's sick. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's sick.
That's a cool
Yeah.
way to come up with a name.
Yeah.
So big ups to Jag Toshi for helping us out with that one.
Yeah, nice.
Funny story. I actually when I first met Jag and those boys, someone made a joke that Jag's name was Jag Toshi, but even when I was hanging out with the group, I thought his name was Jag Toshi. And then he had to pull me up one day. He's like, my name's not Jag Toshi, right? I'm like, oh, okay.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
And so, had you originally, when you thought of that you were gonna do Joybreak, was that essentially mostly going to be focusing on videos or photos, or just you still wanted to do both at that time?
Oh, it was always going to be both.
Yep.
I was hoping that video would become a big part of it, and eventually. That's why I started the YouTube channel at the same time.
Mhm.
And I think I've already released a few videos by that time, and that's why I pushed for Joybreak at the time I did, because it was like already too late. Like the old original videos of Halfway are still on Vimeo under my personal account, like being Josh. I think so I was already on the video path by then. So I always imagined it to be both. And but like the video side is really hard to I can't output a video every week. Like I always go for a cinematic type of video. Like the production is high. It has a soundtrack to it, etc. Like that's why I can't put out videos as much as a vlogger or etc. Even though I have like years worth of archive footage that people like Marvis would pay me out. He's always hoarding this footage, but you just need to hold it out for the right thing. Like sometimes I do a little mashup video of different stuff, just based on a soundtrack. Normally, it normally takes longer to find a soundtrack than it does finding footage for the clip or filming for the clip.
Actually, while we're on the subject of soundtrack, my mate Ben Lacey actually commented on the post. He wants to know where you get your inspiration for your soundtracks, because he loves every single one of your videos, and he said the music choice is always perfect.
Sick. Thanks, Ben. I appreciate that. The music inspiration comes from my skating background, to be honest. I grew up skateboarding, and all of the DVDs that I used to watch, like Baker, Girl, just any of the classic groups who they're even the video style, if you look back at those videos and go and watch my videos of I don't know, Halfway or something like that, I always go for a that style of filming, and the music choices sort of come from those as well. All of those groups, those bands, that's if it wasn't for those those DVDs and etc. growing up, I wouldn't have had the same kind of knowledge and style of editing that I do now without those kind of those groups and creative films they made.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hells yeah.
Yeah,
That's sick. Yeah, because that makes sense, because Benny used to skate a lot when he was younger as well, so showed why he likes it.
Yeah, I think
that probably makes a lot of sense to him.
Yeah. Like, I guess you can kind of even see that now in your videos now when you think about it, that they are kind of like that skate style as well. So that's sick.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And the other thing is I go for a lot of the films that I make, a lot of them are acoustic based. The last I just put out the Mustard video this week, and even that has a very acoustic reverb feel to it. Yeah. And those kind of soundtracks really suit skating and drifting, etc. It's really hard to put electronic music on something like a Halfway video or just drifting in general, unless it's a retro semi techno-y, the Eurobeat
the older style stuff from the 90s and everything.
So I use a lot of acoustic bass bands or acoustic sounds with real drums, real guitar. It just suits it so much better. So that's definitely where the influence came from.
That's, man, hells yeah.
All those DVD. Yeah, man.
And then you also experimented a little bit with making your own music in a couple of videos.
Yeah. The stuff that I've already put out, I was just like young and dumb. Like I just like didn't know what I was doing. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And I'll just like use it on a video. And then now that I've like put a bit more effort into it, I'm like really holding out. I've got a bunch of stuff on my desktop right now that I sort of like, but I'm like, they don't really suit many videos. So I'm like, I just like, oh, I don't know when to use them or
Yeah.
that my goal is to be like 100% like only my own content, like the video, the production, the animation, and the soundtrack. Like that's my ultimate goal. But the music is a little bit harder to like catch up on because it's like a whole new field for me. Like
Oh,
the amount of I need
definitely.
to put years into it to catch up to my level of like video or like photography. So it's like that's why I'm sort of holding out on music now.
So it's a work in progress then.
Pretty much, yeah.
No, we'll be
I got
looking
some
forward
stuff
to it.
ready. I got some stuff ready, but just waiting for the right clip to like incorporate it into.
Wait, very, very keen for that. No, that'd be awesome. That's such a. I like the fact that you want to do that all, your own content. That's actually really, really cool. But yeah, no, that'd be sick.
I think the other reason for like pushing that as well, it's a really good release from like being real serious about photography and videography. It's like it's a new fun thing for me. It's not like a hectic. I don't have to be 100% perfect about it.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like the way music copyright is going, like I'm not sure if you've noticed, but on Instagram, they've like started doing copyright on clips that you put up,
Oh, really?
etc.
True.
Yeah, so they'll take down your Instagram clip if it has like a certain soundtrack in it. Like let's say you have like Drake or someone in the background who's like a major artist, and that'll be owned by like Sony or yeah, they'll just like either block the audio or take it down. And
Wow.
Wow.
that was sort of happening on YouTube as well. So I always thought like, oh, one day I should be good enough to make my own music, and then I'll never have to worry about that kind of problem in the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah.
Like
Wow.
in a few years' time, I think that will be like a major problem, like the whole music copyright, and then like you can't get monetized on YouTube and all that kind of jazz. So
Yeah.
I felt like it'd save me in a couple of years' time as well. By the
Most
time I get
definitely.
good.
That's
Yeah.
rad.
Yeah, no, that's sick. Yeah. It takes a lot of effort to be doing, absolutely everything per video,
100%.
like, yeah.
Mhm.
No, that's awesome.
No.
And yeah, your songs are genuinely really good as well. Like they really suit the videos too. So yeah.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm
Um,
glad people notice because yeah, like I said, it takes almost longer than the actual video itself. I'll spend days looking for a soundtrack before I even start an edit. Yeah.
yeah.
I can imagine.
Unfortunately, our chat's not coming through. I was just trying to sort it out then, but our chat's not coming through on the live. But I've got it up here so I can say any questions that people have that are relevant. So
Cool. We'll leave that one up there then.
yeah, we can leave this one up here. Just other people won't be able to see what's being asked, but that's all good. Continue on.
Mint. So, let's talk about that one. Yeah. Your first trip to Japan, 2013, and Nick Russell's purple S13. Give us a bit of a rundown on that.
Oh man, that was a hell of an experience being my first time to Japan. Like luckily enough, the car still had shock, and when we were there, it was just before the Gaijin laws came in for long-term visa.
Mm-hmm.
So lucky enough, we were able to drive that car around to the tracks, etc. When we were there, and then yeah, man, that was man. Like no, I didn't know much about cars back in 2013. Like when we first did that trip, so like driving this ratty ass S13 around with a really old SR, like thrashed, like too, like it was at a Bissu and like with John Donaldson and stuff. Like this car had a pretty good life, like so. Driving that 2.5 or 3 hours to like Tokushima Cartland or Suzuka Twin to go drifting for like a couple of hours and then to drive a couple hours home was just insane. Looking back on it now, like in like it was pretty cold too. It was like winter time, and I was like, man, if we ever got stuck, it just would have been a nightmare.
Yeah.
So,
Good
and that's
choice.
sort of what set the tone for like ever since that trip, then I really got hooked onto Japan in general, and then that style too. I learned so much from like the guys at Stacked Ink, like just telling us about driver technique and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then that's where I got a lot of knowledge too that really set me up for just everything. Like the film I made from that trip, that was like the ideal kind of edit that I wanted to implement from there onwards. But then it was so hard to capture that same type of feeling because I didn't have the locations, I didn't have like the same cars to like work with and etc. So, but that trip really like set the foundation of like what I wanted to do and where I wanted to go with my edits.
No,
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, nice.
Mm.
And whereabouts did you get to go in Japan? Any really notable places that you went?
I've been a little bit over the place, but like Kyoto, Osaka, etc. I'd probably say Tokushima Cartland was like one of the most memorable circuits that we went to.
Right.
It's about 3 hours away from Osaka, and you have to travel. Like it's very like sort of deep in, I don't know what mountain area it is, but you have to drive like a solid, like there's really tight, twisty roads, and eventually you just get to this like go-kart track, and it's just like in a valley of mountains. It's like the most picturesque like place that I've been to in Japan for a circuit. But like I don't know, I've been a little bit all over the place, but like normally just like like traveling to circuits and etc. Like I'd probably say that was my favorite place in Japan that we got the chance to visit when we were there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Did they do drifting there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it an everyday type thing or is it like a one-off type thing though?
No, like you can go there nearly every day of the week. I'm pretty sure it's about $50, and you can just drive for, I guess, how long you want, really. Nick even offered to throw me the keys, but I was like, I didn't know how to drive back then, so I couldn't afford to.
Mess up an S30.
I already made us take like a 3-hour detour via the map, so it's like, oh, that's enough damage for one day.
No, fair enough.
So
yeah.
Have you ever thought about buying a car yourself over there and doing a similar trip, but yourself driving as well?
Oh, I'd love to, but unless I move over there with the long-term visa, like there's no chance I'll be able to do the same kind of trip without dedicating more time to stay there. Yeah, which is definitely something I'm working towards. Yep. Just moving to Japan in general is something that I'm trying to do. Hopefully in the next 2 years, I'd hope I'd be in the right position to do that. So yeah, you never know. Like I'm sure you guys will hear about it like via the internet if I make the move. So
nice. Yeah, well, if you need any connections, if you go over there, just let us know. We got a fair few mates now that we've even had on the show. So
cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you do speak a bit of Japanese, actually, from my memory. I was seeing you hanging out with a few Japanese girls on the personal Facebooks and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're pretty cute. But yeah, I've been studying for like roughly 3 years just by myself now. Yeah, so I've definitely leveled up a little bit over the years, and I can hold a semi conversation and I can understand a bunch of stuff. But I still need to put a few more hard yards in and really focus on my conversation level anyway.
Yeah. That's probably still more than Streeter, though. He was saying his Japanese was shit. So even after he's been there for all this time.
No, I've heard Jesse speak. He's all right.
Yeah.
He's just he's being humble.
He was just talking himself down. Yeah, go for the next one, Ben. Well, what was probably one of your more notable videos that you're allowed to talk about that was your favorite one to film, let's say?
I'd probably say the 2013 video with Nick was probably my favorite.
Yeah, okay.
To be honest, just when I look back on it, like going to these amazing locations, like every day, like a few times a week, and then all the stuff in between in Japan is like, as you know, Japan's like a whole new world. Like, doesn't matter where you point your camera or like everything feels new and different. So you can't take a bad shot, really.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know what I was doing back then in terms of videography. So it was a bit more fun
Yeah.
because it's like when I got a cool shot, it was like, yeah, sick. Like I didn't know I could do that pretty much. So it was one of the first videos I've uploaded to like the internet, to be honest. So it was like a very like cool experience to be able to capture that much footage and then edit into like this, long clip, almost like a short film length, like 7 to 8 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
that was like a huge like stepping stone for me, really. And it was like the skate vibe that I wanted as well. Like it really like hit the bar like of everything I wanted. So yeah, that's still my favorite clip. I actually re-edited that clip and then put it onto the Joybreak account, the YouTube. So I spiced it up a little bit because it had a few little rough edges in it that I wasn't happy about, but I really wanted to like add some of the footage that I missed in those archives and then re-upload it into something that's a little bit more presentable.
Yep.
So so that's why I remade that clip and uploaded it again because that's just my favorite. Like everything about it.
That was definitely one of my favorite videos.
Yeah.
So how long was that trip for? How long did you stay over there for?
We were there for 3 weeks.
Okay, that's pretty
nice.
good.
Yeah, man. It's just like it was a good enough time to like get a feel, but not too much to get homesick.
Yeah. Was it just the two of yous or?
Yeah, it was just the two of us. Yeah.
Nice.
Rad.
Yeah, man. We roughed it pretty hard though on that trip.
Yeah. How so?
Yeah. Oh, we were actually staying at Stacked Ink at the time, one of their old garages, and they had a like on-site I'd sort of say like a cabin, but it was actually like a container.
Yeah, nice.
So it was actually quite nice inside. It had heaters and like mattresses and stuff like that. But we're like inside like a fully functional like recycling like workshop. Like it was pretty crazy. But so it was like middle of winter too. So we had to like walk outside to go and use the shower and all that sort of stuff. Like was no like $1 million like holiday, but it was but like it was a part of the experience. I've never experienced anything like it since traveling to Japan because everything was a bit more like formal and like hostels, like even the $30 a night hostels are like almost like 4 stars.
Really?
So it's like I've never like it's really hard to get that experience back because like I just didn't know any different back then. So I really appreciate it now.
Yeah, that's cool.
Nice. I've always stayed in camper vans when I'm over there, so I don't really. Yeah. I hired a camper van. Yeah, it's freaking cheap too, man. So like a 2-person mini camper van, which I wouldn't stay in that unless I was with either by myself or with a girlfriend or boyfriend. Purely because that shit's tiny. It's a K van, so like K car van, but that's about $80 a day. So, and it basically costs the same amount as what it does to hire a car. So, and you can sleep in it. And, but then you can upgrade to about $120 a day and you can have 2 full-size double beds in there. So, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what I did last year. So, yeah, no, it's good. It's good. It's just Japan campers if you just search that.
True.
But, are you looking at going overseas for any other trips that you're going to be filming?
I would love to go to the US, to be honest. I've thought about that a few times now. I've had a few guys like offer me places to stay and I'm like, tempting.
Yeah.
But I really want to get to I really want to try Final Bout at least first. Try and just
Final Bout.
Make a trip there. Just to get that, like sort of like telling guys come over for halfway, like you just get your best bang for buck. Like you get to see everyone in the same spot without having to travel too far.
Yeah.
I just kind of would really love to go to Final Bout, to be honest.
Yeah.
First,
plus
but like
Joybreak Final Bout video would be awesome.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. I'd hope so.
Wait, we're all keen.
Yeah, mate. Just do a GoFundMe and.
Don't know if I can do that, but
just do a Patreon and do some, like little nipple shots and stuff, like, and on your private Snapchat, and yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I just don't think I could even let myself do that. Hey, I see like even good causes now. You just like, like they're just so frequent, and then
yeah.
Oh man, like.
Yeah, a lot of it can end up a money grab. I mean, like we struggle even with this podcast. We've been thinking about doing Patreon as well, but it's got to be worth it for the people that are doing it.
Yeah.
But we also, everything that we do, we want everyone to be able to see for free as well. So it gets stuck between a rock and a hard place. Is your YouTube, for instance, is that like got ads and stuff running for it? Like, are you?
Yeah, only some. I think only some of the videos.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, all of the videos would be, because the music that's not mine is monetized by their music record companies, and then stuff that is like technically mine, then that will like it has ads just because like I'll get like a cent out of it or something like that. But
Yeah.
it is like the monetized buttons tick. So sometimes the ads are big, sometimes they're just like small ones. I don't really have control over that, or I don't even know how to like control it, because the views are like nothing to earn money yet, so it doesn't really bother me like what happens, what ads show up, or unless you're in a position where you're getting hundreds of thousands of views. It's honestly not even worth like checking your analytics, etc. Like right now, I think I have like anywhere like $26 on the books, like with Google, and you don't even, and like I think like 30,000 views is like 15. I can't remember how many, like how it
it's
works.
something like
It's
that.
pretty, and then they take away a little bit for like other reasons, like I don't know, YouTube fee or whatever. Like, and you don't get paid until you get $100 anyway. So
you can only take it out in $100 increments. And
then it takes a month to come into your account apparently. So it's like, it's not something that I'm trying to do full time.
Yeah, that's fair.
No, even when I had the JDM Maps app, it was the same thing through Apple. So they wouldn't pay you until you earned over $150. And on a very niche app, I was earning that, maybe once every year and a half. So it's pretty average for the smaller guys, and that's, I guess, why Patreon and all that has come through. But I don't know if it's even the right type of thing, because then even those bigger guys will just jump on Patreon as well, and then they're just taking it away from the littler things. But
true.
We'll see how it all goes. But I mean, I think for us, at least, it's so long as we're still happy to be doing this kind of stuff, then we'll be doing it, So, and I imagine it's probably the same for you. You're just stoked to get your stuff out there. Yeah.
For sure. That's why I like releasing like merch and etc. I'd rather people like have something for their money. Plus it's like basically free advertising for myself. Like, if you know what I mean. But it's like you both get value for what you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So do you do any kind of photography or videography for a day job? Yep.
So I freelance both photography and video. That's sort of how I stay alive. Joybreak isn't like I wouldn't say like a full-time job right now, but it has potential, but it's not something that I'm trying to force. I don't want to, I just stick to my guns with Joybreak. Joybreak's like a very personal thing and a very personal vision that I want to continue pushing. So I work as a freelance photographer, videographer, doing anything from weddings to commercial, everything really, anything commercial, anything.
Nice.
Look after marketing as well for a company.
Yeah, cool.
So
nice. Did you go to uni and stuff for any of that, or just got it through?
No, I just did 2 years at TAFE very early on, and that was just for photography really. Bit of a waste of time if anyone's thinking about doing it. The first year at TAFE is really, if you don't know much, it's great. But any more than a year, you'll outgrow the position like I did, and then you just have to teach yourself on YouTube anyway. The very intricate parts of Photoshop or Premiere Pro or animation. You honestly just need to teach yourself. Like most teachers are so like out of date in those positions. That you just have you fall out of that group pretty quickly.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a shame.
Yeah, that's it. Like, YouTube and stuff has really taken over as like the really good training for those kind of things, really, over TAFE or university. But so I guess like most of your stuff just comes from word of mouth is how you get a lot of your work, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much, man. like the drift community is being really good to me. I've got a lot of wedding work just from all of our friends that we know who drift locally here in Queensland. That's been a huge help. And
Yeah, nice.
what else? Like I did a trip for a hard tuned in Japan as well. That was like a really fun trip. Really thankful for that opportunity as well.
Yeah.
Pretty funny. Gave me a call. Jay Manley recommended me to do the trip, and then I literally got a call probably like 12 hours before the flight needed to leave, and he's like, "Oh, are you keen?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So it's like, "All right, be on the Gold Coast by like 6 a.m. and we'll get onto it." I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like I literally had to like just pack my bags and just leave for the coast.
That's right. That's right.
awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of golden opportunities that I've been given to. I got to go to Shanghai with Grant Scott and a company on the Gold Coast. Luckily enough, by J-Rad. He recommended me for that job too. So yeah, there's a lot of goods come out of just like by doing what I do here locally, or like from my automotive work. Like everyone just like being such a tight knit group, like word gets around, and then eventually you just get all the work. And yeah, man, like really thankful for like everyone who's helped me out along the way.
Yeah, nice.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah. So you said that you'd really like to get over to final bout. Was there any other ones that you've had your eye on as well?
The guys at Next Level Drift look like they're putting on a really good event. Like it seems, that's one I would love to get to as well.
Yeah.
It's a very like different style of cars.
Yeah.
But they are cool. I think it's hard to find that balance of like cool and big group of cars. So I think out of those two events, they're just like, I just love to see how they're doing things, how they're driving, like how much influence. Like for me, I love Japanese style of driving. I love like high grip, like low amount of like smoke, and you know what I mean, like showing off. So it'd be really interesting to see. Like I've noticed the Americans have started to take on that style a lot more, like grippier setups, more aggressive. I'd love to see how the other side of the world's doing as well.
Yeah, hells yeah.
Nice.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, we spoke to Ty about the Next Level events. That seems really cool.
Yeah, Next Level looks awesome.
Yeah. So we'll probably get into some nitty gritty type technical stuff. But I'd just like to know, let's go right to the beginning of your making a video. How do you get your plan, and what's your steps for doing one of your main feature videos, that you're thinking of locations, you're thinking of the equipment, the time of day and all those kinds of things. How much of it do you actually plan with your shots and stuff, or do you just wing it, and you just play it by ear, or is it 50-50? Like, how does it all work?
A lot of it is just winging it, to be honest. Like, I just, but like that comes from experience too.
Yes.
I know if I'm, can you just give me one video, for example, so I can kind of just speak on that one?
Halfway.
Let's go
halfway.
Your last halfway hang video.
Yeah, halfway is just 100% winging it every time, because I'm trying to like have fun with everyone and also get enough footage to put a video together. So I literally just hold my camera, and then I'll just like be in the middle of a conversation and just like run off and film something. But I've always got my eye on certain things that are like happening around me. And like I'll know someone's car's like coming up the road, so I'll be like trying to finish a conversation off and then like be ready for that car to like, drive past or something like that. So there's a little bit of I'm better like in the moment than I am planning for. It's a lot easier to just capture what's going on around you rather than trying to plan for things to happen.
Yeah.
Especially on an event like halfway, because you never know like who's gonna like, I don't know, trip over, or, like someone's gonna like break their bar trying to go up the gutter next to the cabin, or
or get six people lying down on the floor with a BMX.
yeah.
But yeah, no.
Fuck, that was so good.
that was a classic.
So would there be many of the videos that you do a bit of pre-planning for then?
Yeah, right now I'm filming a campaign video for Joybreak. So it's like very artsy, can't like advertisement sort of thing that I'm doing.
Okay.
Um, that one I've like spent multiple nights out around like Brisbane CBD, and all the locations like Sunny Coast with Dan and Jackson, filming them. And like everything of this whole shoot's been planned. Each location, time, ready like walkie talkies, trying to like get the right shot, like all stabilized shots. And doing stuff like that is like extremely time consuming. And like each shoot every night, you're only taking away like for the standard of shot that you want to put in a clip, like that I want to put in the clip, is only just a few. So each shoot, I'm only taking away like maybe 10 solid clips to use in this video, and like each cut might be like 1 to 2 seconds. So
Wow.
trying to do that over a 3-minute video, if I can finish it at 3 minutes without taking like too much time, like it's extremely time consuming.
So you have specific. Oh, you go.
Oh, I was just gonna say, oh man, you cut me off and I forgot.
Well, all right. You have so say before you go out that night, you would have pre-planned shots that you want to get before you leave, essentially.
Yeah, I have a slight idea, like, one might be a particular rolling shot, and I'll have to, like the Sunny Coast, for example, I had to go and do a loop of the area that we were going to shoot, and then like suss out which road and what the lighting condition was going to be like. Yeah. But then again, it's me winging it, to be honest. Like I'm just going out there and then just saying, yep, this spot, this will do. Yeah. We'll make it work. So, but that's what makes like a lot of good videos, like, or just anything in general. Just go out to a location, and it's kind of like street drifting. You just like go out, and then
it just happens.
You just look at a map, and like you just go there and see if it's good. Like same with anything. Like the best, like was shooting in the city, and then you just pulling over on random street sides next to shops, and that's like it gives you like a busy atmosphere, and like that's where we got some of our nicest shots, because it was like unplanned, and there was like traffic and people, like pedestrians around. It made it look like a film almost, because it was like people are walking in synchronized like pairs, and cars are like stopping and starting for lights, and I couldn't have planned for that if I like thought about it.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
So then, what kind of equipment do you bring? Like, what do you currently run then for, let's say, halfway hangs? Let's just use halfway hangs as our base general thing here. What would you bring? Yeah,
up until recently, in the last couple of months, I only just upgraded to like a A7 Mark III. Okay. It's a Sony body. Yeah. I still use Canon lenses on that. But the main thing I would say here for everyone is I was shooting with a 5D Mark II up until a few months ago, and people were always like, what gear do you use? Like, how do you get these shots, etc. And like I was only shooting at 24 frames a second. Like there's no slow-mo, there's no like high, like it's only HD. It's not even like a nice, like super nice sensor like this Sony that I've got now. Yeah. Like I would just say to everyone who wants to like progress, like just shoot with what you've got. Yeah. I've had that camera since day dot, that 5D2, and it's still my like most favorite camera. Like the colors and etc. are so nice. Like it's really hard to mimic that on the Sony. But yeah, like you don't need a fancy body. Like you don't need slow-mo. Like you don't need like these like LUTs for your like color grading, like Premiere Pro, like all these features and stuff. You don't need that. You just need like clean cut, good footage. Like that's what it comes down to. Like, yeah.
And what kind of lenses would you say for people to get then, if if you were to pick anything?
I'd definitely start off with a 50mm for sure. Just like we mentioned before, 50mm is like a really good cheap base lens that you can get for any model, like being Nikon, Canon, Sony. Like they all have the 1.8 50mm for roughly like anywhere between $100 and $300. I think you can get each of those lenses for like the base model 1.8. And they're all really nice. They're all really nice lenses, even though they're like the cheapest like base model lens that you can get for each of those bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously if you want to shoot drifting, like you need 200 mils minimum for anything on track.
Yeah.
Especially in Australia, like all of our tracks are quite big.
Yeah.
When it comes to like QR and Rayleigh and Wakefield, all that sort of stuff. So I definitely minimum 200 mil if you want to shoot track. Yeah.
It's Raleigh, by the way.
Oh no, here we go again.
I had to correct Pecky, I've had to correct Fink. That's my hometown, so that's why I know. But it's Raleigh, not Rayleigh. There's no Y in there.
We'll fight about this later.
Yeah, we'll fight about it later.
This is a funny thing about language though. Like we say things, that's just the universal language for like Australia. Like that's how we recognize one place, because so many people do it.
Yeah,
you're the odd one out for correcting everyone. Like it's Senki and Corky, but people say God, I forgot how they say it now.
I say Koki.
They say Kooky.
Yeah.
They say Kooky when it's Corky.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
And you can't, if you pull everyone up that you're having a conversation with, you just look like a dick. Like so.
I remember when I remember when
you're in Japan, you just speak normal, and then like when you're back in Australia, you have to like adapt to the universal language that we speak. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I remember the hate that Noriaro got on a Mighty Car Mods post about
K cars.
When they're calling K cars key cars, and that was pretty funny. So yeah. So what about like tripods? And do you recommend people go out and buy all the stabilizer 5-axis things and stuff like that? What would you say?
Oh man, ditch all of that. Ditch all that. Like I actually hired a stabilizer for this campaign shoot that I was doing.
Yep.
Huge thanks to Paul Perry for organizing that one for me.
Mm-hmm.
But you soon realize that the weight of those stabilizers for the footage that you get, like they do really produce some nice images, but unless it's like needs to be 100% like the cleanest cut footage that you're straight out of the body, like normally you can get away with it like with like warp stabilizers and riding skateboards, riding in cars that have good suspension. You can really get the same rolling shots and all that sort of stuff without having to fork out like $1,000 to $1,500 for like a 3-axis gimbal.
Yeah.
But my probably the best advice I'll give everyone, I still have I thought I might have it here with me, but I've still got this first tripod that I ever bought for filming. It's like this Manfrotto silver aluminium, like bottom of the range fluid head tripod.
Yep.
And I've had a few like local filmers like be like, oh man, like I knew it was you filming when I saw that silver tripod. Like, like I've had it since day dot, and it's like the smoothest thing that I've ever. It was like $100. Like, I'd recommend just getting like a nice, like I'd say the equivalent to a Manfrotto with a nice fluid head, and just focused on that. Like if you're going to be filming, like you can use it for so many things, but like for automotive, if you're going to pan with cars and stuff, like that's all you really need. Like is this a fluid head tripod, and then anything that's like you don't need long distance, you can do handheld.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not getting the shots handheld, like you just know that you have to practice a bit more until you do.
Yeah,
like it's a major thing. It's kind of like driving. Like don't put like a TD06 in your car and expect to like, they might learn with the turbo and get good, but like as soon as you jump in an NA car, it's like, oh, I can't drift. It's just like similar deal with film. Like you really need to learn handheld and what you can and can't do, and how like you need to find the limits so you can like when you do get a gimbal like stabilizer thing, like you know what to do with it, what you can't do handheld.
Yeah,
I'd probably say it's like best advice I could give somebody.
So it's like knowing why you need it.
Yeah. Start from the bottom and progress and learn.
Yeah.
Exactly. Actually, same as a car. Like start off with stock knuckles and like the stock motor, like only little things like pod filter and stuff, and like outgrow the car before you want to do these things like big grippy tires, turbo, etc. Like you guys know firsthand. Like you see that like every like. There's always a few people at like QR Drift Nights or Archie who like step up with this big car, and then they don't really know how to use it because they haven't really outgrown a stock motor first, or a stock setup. So and the same thing's happening with cameras. A lot of dudes come out with these fancy cameras, and then not really know how to utilize them properly because there's so much to them.
Yes.
Like, all of the high frame rates and all that sort of stuff. Like, most people just go out shooting like these slow-mo clips, but then don't know how to put like a normal video together. Like, slow-mo is like cheating when it comes to filming. It's really easy to put a video together and just put in like multiple slow-mo clips in. And I'm starting to do it more because it's like I've got this extra footage now that's like slowed down really nicely in a high frame rate.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really easy just to drop it in and keep doing it. But it's like you limit yourself by doing that. So
Yeah.
you're not really learning. You're not really pushing like your creativity if you're just doing that. So
yeah. I mean, and I suppose like for people who are watching this live, in the background, this is what I was filming in Japan at a racetrack in it's above Fukushima anyway. And that was literally just being filmed then with my Olympus OMD EM5 Mark II, which was only at 1080p 60, and that is with my 14 to 70 at 70 millimeters. So you don't even need a super crazy. Like, you could do that with a 50mm prime as well, like perfectly fine. So you don't need much. Like, that footage turns out decent. It's nothing like yours, but like, but it's still footage, and it's just having something rather than, I guess, having nothing. I guess, So but and do you recommend people then go out and, for instance, with my Olympus, it has the 5-axis inbuilt on the sensor.
Like inbuilt?
Yeah. Do you reckon people should spend the extra money on that kind of stuff? Or do you think they should, if they're worried about that, edit it in post rather than getting in a gimbal? Or
Oh, definitely. If you have it, like, definitely give it, like, it comes in handy with your handheld shots.
Yeah.
Like, my Sony has it now as well, and I have found the limitations to it. Like, you can, like, it does some weird things at certain, like, when you're moving around. So you just got to find the limit of how much you can use that stabilization, really.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't purposely buy it because of that.
Yeah.
If it's a bonus feature and you want everything else, like, awesome. You can definitely find ways to use it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't buy it just because of the like inbuilt stabilization.
Yeah. No, fair. Like,
but
you go.
I was just gonna say all of the, like, it doesn't really matter what you buy from now on anyways, because every body that's coming out is like so high tech. Like, there's so much stuff you don't need, or any beginner that would even know where to start, what to do with it. Like, I was in that boat a few months ago with this Sony. Like, I didn't know how to use the inbuilt stabilizer. I had, like, there's all of these extra features, like high frame rates and stuff like that. Like, man, it's just like this huge playground, and it's like you just have to start from the beginning and just learn how to use each little feature again, and like put it in your own way as well, and try not to copy other people's styles. All that sort of stuff.
Yeah, no, that's it. And I mean, like, I brought a GoPro Hero 5 Black that had the stabilization in it, put it on the front of my car at Ebisu, and because of the stabilization, it would actually make it look like I wasn't drifting, because it was automatically like moving the lens in the directions that like the G-forces were going towards. So it looked like it was super stable picture. It looked like I was just driving behind someone, but it looked like I was just driving behind someone. So I solved that pretty quick. But so like that's where I guess it can even be a bad thing for you. But for people, what you're using it for and where you place it. But do you do action cam type video as well, or do you just solely just do DSLR?
I haven't done any like GoPros or action cam stuff for a while now. I just kind of got over that view, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it's a very, like, you can't really change that angle. It's like a fisheye, and it just gets a bit old. It just gets a bit old of the in-car footage.
Yes.
Just in the kind of clips that I've been trying to produce anyway, like and like the halfway videos and stuff, always trying to make them a bit more like
Artsy?
fine tuned.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like nice lenses. I try and make everything like the same kind of
Yeah.
quality, and like that really downgrades it a little bit. So
Yeah.
and plus it takes a lot of time to set that up.
Yeah.
Like send someone away with like even with the remote control like stop and starter. It still takes up heaps of time, and that footage like you can't really use much of it. So in a clip, like unless you're doing like a raw edit sort of thing, like you don't really need that much in-car footage to spice up a clip. So but on the topic of like action cams and stuff, if someone has a new Sony action cam, like turn off the automatic, like they have an automatic, like you're talking about the GeForce before.
Yeah.
Man, turn that off because it ruins in-car driving videos so much.
Yeah. Well, I bought the Sony afterwards, but that's exactly it. It's that axis where it's left to right. Can you turn it off for left and right, but keep it up and down?
Oh, I'm not sure about that, but you can definitely. I would turn it off altogether because if you've got it mounted inside of a car, the car, like any roll cage or what, is so stable, and it's like the same vibration as the car is moving, so you wouldn't really notice it anyway.
Yeah.
But I'll have to check that before I put it in the car.
Yeah, because I sold the GoPro and bought the Sony, and because it had an external mic input, but it's 100% what I noticed in Japan with the GoPros, and all these new action cameras are really pushing for the image stabilization for people that ride BMX and stuff like that, but for drifting it just freaking doesn't work. Turn it off. So essentially, say you got, how much would you say to spend on an entry level camera pack for someone who's wanting to get into photography, and just what would you say to buy, as in like a body, a 50mm lens and a tripod? What would you say if someone's looking to get into it, what would you say they should spend as a budget, I guess, or something like that? Can you think of anything?
I'd probably say like, I'm really not up to date with anything. Like I really try and like zone out of like tech gear these days. I'm just focused on my own stuff. But I'd say like you can pick up a 5D Mark II body for like $500 or less now, and that has like really beautiful 24 frame footage. Which is HD. Full frame body. I'd just recommend Canon in general. For video, just because the lens is quite cheap in comparison to the other groups. Like now I'm with Sony. I've looked at switching to Sony to get like the better features like autofocus and all that sort of stuff. But the price is just like, man, it's pretty expensive when you want to switch over like to a new brand. But Canon really has like the all-rounder prices for like body and lenses, and you can like I'm still using Canon lenses with my Sony. It just requires a bit more manual focus, and like autofocus is like a bit slack. But then you shouldn't rely on it too much as well. So it's like it sort of keeps you a bit grounded. But with tripods and stuff like that, like you wouldn't have to spend. I'll just like do what I did, like get on like Gumtree, eBay, look for a nice fluid head tripod. And like you wouldn't have to spend more than 150 on that. A 50mm lens over, like I think I said this before, like over each brand, it's like under $300. So you're looking at $450 there. I'd probably say you could try and get out of it for like less than like $1,000.
And would you suggest people go a full frame first off, or something else?
Yeah, it doesn't. You don't have to, but I think you might as well. Like those bodies are so cheap, and they're just like one of the, like 5D2 was like one of the best bodies that came out for such a long time. Like the fact that you can get that so cheap, like on a low budget, is just like, man, you might as well like you just like sort of you just take off. Like you just won't have to like worry about upgrading to like to get that. Like people upgrade just for full frame, like when you can just buy that straight off the bat now. So
that's a good point. So we already did that one. We even talked about that. That's good. So and you said Premiere Pro, but Premiere Pro costs a bit. Do you know of any others that would be, other than I guess Cyberlink when it's free? Is there anything else that you recommend anyone get into for editing and stuff like that that you know of?
It's a tough one. I know some people use the Apple iMovie for stuff.
Yep.
Beginning out, I know because I think most Mac laptops have that for free. So similar features. Same with GarageBand. People like to use that for music making as well.
Yep.
I'd probably say it's just not. I'm just not my field. I don't look at anything else.
Yeah,
But I'd probably. It's only a Google search away, to be honest. Like if it's not iMovie, I'm sure it's like there's some new program that's free out now.
For sure.
Yeah. And what do you look for in a photo or a video shoot location? Like, say you're scoping a place out. What makes you go yes or no?
Ooh.
It's going to totally depend on the shot that you're going for, I guess. But for some of your artsy shots, I know how sometimes you'll try to get stuff in the foreground a lot, and a lot of it's like a panning shots towards a car and stuff like that. Like, is that just all luck of the draw, or is it more like you just kind of scope it out and go, it'll probably look best from this angle?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I definitely use like foliage in my foregrounds and my backgrounds, and I always look for always trying to get like a shallow depth of field a lot of the time for a lot of shots. So sometimes it's planned. Sometimes I'm in the right spot with like a bush next to me, and I'll just like hide inside of that until I get the right kind of. Instead, there's always like some weird shots of me just like hiding in a bush. But also for my filming, I use I try not to go in field, to be honest. I'm always outside of like the media zone, so to speak. I don't really go to the middle of tracks anymore. I actually like to be behind people and film like people going through, like being in my ground, in my foreground. So my camera's moving and like panning across a whole image rather than just having just the car in the I did that in the last Muster video that's put up. There's a whole part where I'm like in the cafeteria and like I'm using the whole foreground to frame the cars on the top of the hill. So I always try and do that kind of stuff to make it a bit more interesting and sort of just spices up the creativity a little bit and makes you try different things, new angles But in terms of looking for it, I just look for things to frame an image. So for that one, for example, that was like a massive silhouette on the bottom of the screen. So it's it really frames the just all the dirt and stuff that's around the track, which gets a bit boring. It's it's not contrasty. The colors look crap. So that one, it just helps. I sort of do that in every situation, like architecture. I always look for ways to frame something else. So shapes in the background. Sometimes colors can do it. Like if you just got red dirt on the bottom, that just separates the whole image enough to make it look like. It just it helps you separate images and etc. Sometimes
make things pop as well, with having a color separation like that. Okay. Okay. And would you say very similar for photos as well then?
You can use it across both. It really, you just got to trial and error, really. I'm guessing when you're starting out, just trying to put things in front of lenses and shoot through them and all that sort of stuff, you're just going to get some horrible images. But eventually, you'll just learn how much light needs to be around and how much of it across the frame can you get away with. It comes back to your basic rule of thirds. Once you just got to learn the basics, and then once you've got your basics, you can kind of break them a little bit and then find the happy medium. You sort of have to make your own decision on a shot. Sometimes all of the mathematics is off, but when you look at it, you really like it. So
okay.
Same with an entry in a car. Once you start doing backwards entries, it's not technically right, but you have to find a happy medium. You know what I mean? You have to have enough angle to get through the corner, but try and make it more. I guess not, it's not correct driving, but it's the style of it all. So similar kind of trying to put the reference across, but
true.
So for inspirations, I guess, then on certain car videos, if say people have watched all of yours and they're looking for more inspiration, do you have videos that you like constantly, like guys that you constantly follow who you get inspiration from, not to copy but to actually you know, that are doing something different than what everyone else is doing? Like I think of like Shirts Tucked In, his photography is insanely good and it's different than what a lot of people, some people try to mimic it, but it's still different. You know, do you have anyone that you are like your go-to guys that to get a bit of inspiration?
It's a bit tough to find people who are like doing the same thing on a different scale. Casey's been around for a long time and he's got his set thing, which is cool.
Yeah.
But when it comes to me like getting inspiration for my own work, like for Joybreak these days, it comes from other brands that are not associated with cars at all.
Yeah.
Like it's everything is like separated from cars these days. Like there's a lot of creativity coming out of America, which I really love. Like the dudes making videos there, like pushing more animation style edits and that sort of stuff, and that's really cool. Like I get a lot of inspiration from that when I see it. But these days it's more to do with like all the brands that I follow, like skate brands in particular. They're always super creative with their filming and stuff like that. Music's a huge one. Like I just get inspiration from music these days. Like like I said, I spend more time listening to music for videos than I do actually editing or filming. And just when I just hear a certain soundtrack, like Back to the Mustard video, like that's a bit out there for some of my edits, but it's like a Russian soundtrack. And I didn't know until someone commented, but when I listened to it, I was like, yeah, like I can feel like a different style of editing coming from this song. And that's how I just like make decisions on the spot. Like, you just, So I got a lot of inspiration from everything but automotive these days. Like, to be honest, like there's not very many people to like keep an eye on, if that makes sense. Like it's a pretty small community over the world. Yeah. So, you know, like Nora Yaro has like a great sort of like raw editing style.
Yes.
See, I love that, but I don't think I could ever like talk in front of a camera all day. So, you know, like there's I love watching his videos. Yeah. That are just like, so like, I don't know, like there's not very, very many people that I actually watch in the automotive world. Like I definitely check on everyone's stuff. I watch it and see it, but it's not like inspirational as such, like, because everyone's very similar in a sense. Yeah. We're all like shooting cars and it's like the same cars or the same track or, you know, like it's not very out there. Yeah. Until you go to another country and see what they're doing, like they've got a whole different community of like inspiration that they're going off. So that's where I find like things that push you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
No, that's interesting. Like, and I think that's a pretty good point. Is that you don't want to look like what everyone else does because it is such a small knit community with cars. Like, and pulling inspiration from like you really like skate videos, and so much of your inspiration comes from there. So to be watching that kind of stuff and going, how can I turn this into a similar thing with automotive? You know. Yeah. So yeah. No, that's cool. Let's go. I think we covered pretty much all those, didn't we?
Yeah, we covered the A86 already.
Yeah.
Upcoming projects for Joybreak.
Oh yeah, upcoming. I did mention the campaign that I've been filming for a little while now. Hopefully that's in the wraps in the next few weeks. I hope if I can get my shit together and do some filming. But the other thing that I'm trying to push towards, I was gonna like not really talk about it, but seeing as I'm here,
bit of an exclusive.
What I want to push now is I've been talking about this with a few people and trying to find a location for it and how I want to go about it because it's a bit different, but like do a pop-up gallery.
Oh yeah.
For Joybreak, so like sort of like a pop-up gallery / premiere of if I have a video ready for that time frame. That's something I'd love to do. I want to showcase a few images that I probably had, you know, in the archive for a couple of years that are worthy of a big print, which would be really different for our community. Like back to skating, like they've had gallery premieres and all that kind of stuff. But I think with the drift community, it's a bit separated in a sense. Like they don't have a community where you get together and like appreciate things like that, like art, for example. And yeah, we have car shows, but most people like just walk around, check out a car, say it's cool, and then like sort of bail off and have drinks with their own group.
Yeah.
So I'd love to sort of like the Irish Murphy's Nights with Secret Drift, Wreckham, like they just like bring the community together a bit more. And yeah, just it'd be cool to be like a bit more of a tighter of a community and like, yeah. So I really hope to like organize something like that in, you know, hopefully this year I can pull that together as well. But yeah, just like getting a location and stuff like that is like really difficult for, you know, setting prints and like,
No,
so that's probably what.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely keen to hopefully see that happen. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one there.
Yeah. New and up and coming bloggers. Who do you recommend?
Oh yeah. I think we touched upon this when we were just talking about like inspiration and styles and stuff like. I just say for like, there's a lot of new guys like making blogs and stuff like that. It'd be, I'm sure it's like really hard to like keep things original and like, you know, like obviously most people are trying to build a brand and start something new, and I think it'd be really tough to not to like copy people around you and people who are already like big in the community. I just like, for those guys, I just like try and like find something that like, you know, my niche is like skateboarding. I grew up skateboarding, so like I have all this inspiration from before. Like if you're a BMXer, like take that to your advantage. Like why did you like those DVDs? Why did you like the fashion or something? Like take that to your advantage and like turn that into your, you know,
your thing.
Your thing. Like don't copy it, but like take what's different from BMXing to skating and like turn that into your own thing. So yeah, I just like say for those guys, like just try not to like, you know, leech off other guys and, you know,
that's
because like people see it and then it's like close it. Like first time they see something like, oh, that's basically the same as this guy. Like seen that before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like you're not really going to get far by doing that as well. Like it's super tough to be original and like create your own stuff. But yeah, once you start, then it becomes easier because now like, starting's the hardest part. So
once you've started and you've got the ball rolling, it sort of keeps rolling.
Yep. And if you start paying people to like do your like designs and stuff, you've just set yourself up for disaster. Like if you're not doing it yourself, like how are you going to progress when you need it the most? Like, it's just another story I've heard. Like people like start paying for design, start paying for people to help them out, and then you get stuck real quick because you can't just rely on other people to make your stuff for you.
Yeah.
You know, just design or whatever. Like you can do one thing, but you really need to do it all if you love it.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge one.
That's good advice. I like
that. Yeah, that's it. Then it's really just everything is you, you know, like whether it turns out shit or not, it's still you, not something else. Yeah. No, fair enough. When you're editing a video, when do you know when to stop? Like when do you go, nah, I've done enough, it's ready to go, you know? Like, and how long would you spend on an edit?
Oh, that's tough. Sometimes it's really easy. Sometimes it just like all just like drops in real easy, clean cut. But other times I'll sit on it for days and just work on it like 1 or 2 hours a day before I like just my head explodes really. Just because I'm so pedantic about certain things and like just the type of footage and how the drivers look in the video. Like I'll only take the best sort of drivers as well as the cleanest footage of my own. So it's like if the drivers make small mistakes, then I'll have to just bail off that footage, even though it was like a real clean video. So yeah, sometimes it's easier than others. Like it's really tough. Like I probably spend way too much time on it, to be honest. But I love what I do. So you know what I mean? Like it's like
videos, so it makes it worth it.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. Do you use many effects and stuff in the videos?
They're pretty like if I use an effect, it's pretty minor, like a film dissolve or like a fade, or I've only just started like playing around with like small animations, but it's all very minor stuff, and I wouldn't worry about it if you're like learning.
Yeah.
It's something that you can pick up by watching a few YouTube videos, like down the line. Most people like really, I just suggest like focus on your cuts, like working in threes, like established location, then like a closer shot, and then your subject. Like there's mathematics to filming, and most people don't probably realize it, but like you got to like work in threes.
Okay.
So each shot I don't do it all the time, but like when you do it, it makes the whole clip like solid.
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's a lot of mathematics to like just like compositions and stuff like that, and how much like your frame, like how much you can work with, and all that sort of stuff. So I'd focus on like the basics and nail them, because that's like your foundation. Like that's 80% of your video. Like your whole video is like trying to put the boring stuff together and make it clean cut and work. That's where you'll start getting noticed. Like
Okay, fair enough.
just think of like a skating line. Like it's pretty boring, like unless like they're long lines, like it might be a 30-second line or whatever, like 20 second, like, and you have to blend that in to keep it interesting, and like do in like little stuff in between to keep it fun and exciting. Like that's the sort of stuff that keeps a video going, not an animation, not a weird ass like effect that splits into a diamond or something like
So like your B-roll type stuff you're talking about then.
It's the most important. 100%.
Okay, cool. No, that's some good tips. Yeah, I think that's the thing that a lot of people forget about, when they're doing, especially starting out for filming like for cars and stuff like that, is like first things they'll do is they'll get their media thing, their media jacket, and they'll go stand in the middle of the track and get the same shot as everyone else, and that's all that they get, and they go home and throw all the clips together and call it a Matsuri video. But
let's talk about drones quickly. Drones. Like same thing with the drone. Like a drone should only be like 2% of a video. Like it should only be like very highlighted, like cool parts, not like a whole video of just drone. I've noticed that like drones are just taking over. Like I don't know if you guys like it, but it's just like it just takes away. Like no one wants to watch drifting from a bird's eye angle for like. It just gets, even like the FPV videos that are like the goggle stuff, like really fast. Even those videos have like gotten real old because they're just wild. And they're like they like go around the whole car, and it's like I don't want to see, like it just puts you off. I feel like it just takes away like from the whole drifting perspective as well. Like I really just like in-car videos that are like just a solid mount from the back, so you can see what the driver and the car's doing. Like you can reference, as a driver, you can reference how good of a driver they are and what kind of angle they're doing. And I feel like using too much of those like drones and like just normal drones like just takes away majorly from like an editor, like producing a good clip.
I'd agree with that.
Don't use it. Have a drone, but just don't overuse it.
I've seen people use drones where instead of getting like an overhead clip, they'll use it more as like that's their stabilized video that goes like around the car kind of thing, and like past the engine bay, and then it'll go like around the car. Like I've seen people use it for that. I feel like that's a better way to use it, is uses that as your like super stable video. But no, I definitely know what you mean about the FPV video and stuff. Yeah,
it is pretty hectic. I was watching a clip of it just before I got here at work.
But
they're definitely cool, don't get me wrong. I just like if you can make a whole video of it, it's like a bit too much, I feel.
I feel it could. It got old pretty quick.
But no, that's cool. Have you got any more questions, Ben?
Let's hear your thoughts on our favorite videos from you. So mine was a very old video from the original Halfway Hangs. It just brings back so many cool memories, but I'd be keen to hear what you think of it.
I was pretty amateur back then, so I don't really want to go watch it now. But it's all like the other thing is like it's a great, like looking back on it, seeing how far I've come from. If it was probably 2015 or something like that. Like at least like I've got something to look back on, and like the progression that I've made, and
Yeah.
I hope it shows other people how far you can come in like, a semi-short time. Like,
Yeah.
so I'll probably leave it up for a little bit longer and let people check it out. But
Definitely. I
see
mean,
how long
I
it
feel
lasts
it
for.
almost did capture a moment in time there as well. It did capture a lot of like the original vibes of Halfway Hangs, and that was really cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It did capture
Yeah, that's
all
another
the
thing. Like,
good part.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Halfway's definitely changed over the years, but yeah, it's still just as awesome. But like, yeah, at least it's like something's there to remember, like how it all started and what.
Yeah.
I guess like that was the foundation for Halfway, like just the parties and stuff like that, the cars, the people. So I guess it's pretty cool to look back on and
Yeah.
see how far.
Yeah, no, that's definitely it. That's definitely it. Yeah, no, sweet. No, my favorite video was definitely the one in Japan. So
Yeah.
we've already spoken
We were talking
at
about
length
that one.
about that one. So, yeah,
Awesome.
No, that's
What's
sick.
some of the? Do you have any other like favorite videos like in the drifting community like
Scott
you
Mitchell
go back and-
Media's one of Ebisu, the Ebisu trip #1. Like, I've probably watched that video like 30, 40 times over. For me, but because I've been to Ebisu so many times, for me, that video just brings back personal memories. I was even there, I think the year after that one, but I was there on one of his other trips as well. And that video just, for me, it completely encaptures everything that Ebisu is. Everything in that video is real, and if you go to Ebisu, you will see everything and do everything in that video. So that's probably his stuff's really good though. Scott Mitchell Media's stuff is really good. I really like his videos.
Yeah, Scott's a really good dude.
I
love him.
Yeah, but what about you, Ben?
Well, I can't remember who filmed it for Speed Hunters, but when I was, this would have been when I was like 15, they uploaded a video called Ebisu, the Soul of Drift, and it was just a heap of like real grainy video of just like actually really immaculate drift cars at Ebisu, and that's what captured drifting for me there.
Yeah, right.
And that's it just had that cool vibe, and I loved it. I still watch it every now and then.
Yeah. What's the guy that lives in Japan's name? He did the video with the pinky purple Lamborghini and stuff like that.
Aaron May.
But what's his channel called?
I can't remember.
Shit. He did a few videos, and he did the ones like he even got like Daigo and
I know
stuff,
the one you're talking about.
He did some really cool artistic style stuff as well. Like, and all his stuff was filmed with a Sony, but back then it was filmed with Sony. Man, I can't remember what his name.
Yeah, I forgot his name. Hey,
it's completely.
I know exactly.
Yeah, it's not an easy to remember name though either. It's like a bit of an odd one. Shit. Oh well. Anyway, his stuff's really good. His stuff's really good.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, but I can't remember what main video he did so that people could even search his like name of one of his main videos. I know he did like the Monster Energy ones for Vaughn Gittin Jr. and was it Daigo? Daigo and Vaughn Gittin, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, but anyway.
Now that we've talked about it, it'll pop up somewhere.
It's something media.
Yeah, that's it. I can't remember it, eh?
Oh. And no one's even commenting, telling us who it is, because they probably have no idea who the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah, I definitely follow him, but it's not coming up.
Yeah, I haven't seen a video from him in ages though. Like, he hasn't released anything new in a very, very long time. But anyway, no,
was it? Wasn't Luke Huxham? Was it?
Yeah, Luke Huxham. Luke Huxham. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, his videos are really good. They're super artsy. What's one of the video names?
Underground Heroes.
Yeah, Underground Heroes.
The Japan Street Life.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
With the Team Magician 110 in the front of the video.
Yeah, look up Luke Huxham videos for people who are watching. They are really good. I think they have a lot of artsy style to them and everything like that as well. So
yeah.
But But yeah, they're the videos that really strike out for me, for ones as well from other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I'd say definitely. Now that you bring it up, I totally forgot about Luke. But yeah, some of his work has definitely been an inspiration to me.
Yeah.
Just showing that you can make cars look, just you can put in that amount of production and make it, good.
Yeah.
Especially being in Japan, like very envious of the location settings and cars. But
and the opportunities
that
there.
makes it, it makes it a lot easier to pull some cool shit together. But yeah, he definitely hit the nail on the head. And even if you look at his videos back on, you go from Vimeo up until now, you can show the progression, that you can go through over like, a short period of time. So yeah, another.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure that I read like an article or a blog or whatever it was by him that pretty much said that he just randomly bought a camera when he moved to Japan and started filming when he moved to Japan. And I don't even think that I think it was about 2 years into filming. I'm pretty sure this was him that someone told him about the shutter and aperture priority modes and stuff like that, and he didn't even know until then about those, and he was continuously having the stuff around on racetracks. That was either him or Antonio. I can't remember which one, but but yeah, I'm pretty sure it was him that he started filming in Japan, and just with a very basic setup, and where he is now, so with. Yeah, I would say that would be very expensive production setups that they get now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other one that does good videos as well, quite artsy-ish videos or high production videos, is Drift Idiot over in America as well. He does all the ones for Formula Drift and stuff like that, and with the bigger Formula Drift style cars, and they're high production, but there isn't very many people who are doing high production style videos like you and Scott Mitchell and everything like that. It's actually quite really lacking in reality. Everyone does their vlogs and the action camera, and drone,
in-car
footage, and and then your basic throw together quick overnight edit stuff. There's not much high production stuff, and that's why yourself stands out in the community, because there isn't a lot of high production style edits that people are doing long term.
Exactly.
So. For sure.
Yeah. But
man.
Oh, sweet.
Cool.
I think that's pretty much all the questions I've got. I think we learnt a fair bit.
Yeah, I learned a lot.
yeah, and I think especially anyone who's considered getting into automotive photography or videography would have learned a bit by listening to this. I hope that people do understand, and it's the same with cars. And what I was going to bring it up earlier, but I forgot, was it's knowing when to upgrade and why you need to. I think a lot of people, even with their car, will go out and buy the big turbo because they can't drift, but that's not the reason that you need to upgrade that stuff. You should be able to still do something and put out quality videos. Like, as you were saying, the 5D Mark II only does 24 frames a second. People would be thinking that, I'm sure, who are listening to this, going, that's not enough. You need it to be minimum 60 frames a second and 4K and fucking blah blah blah. But the quality of your videos, and considering that none of your videos up until this point, you're saying, haven't even been done with this new Sony that you've got, and the high quality level that you're able to do at 24 frames a second with a relatively cheap now camera, like it really comes down to the person and how much effort you're willing to put into it, and just feeling it out. I think like it really does come down to being artsy in yourself. Like you say it's mathematical, but to me, I look at it and so much of it is just feeling it and knowing like what's going to work and things like that.
Having a sixth sense for it.
Yeah, it's a feeling. You say it's mathematical, but that's because you've been doing it forever.
That's only the first. That's the fundamental of it. Like, you just got to learn the math.
Yes.
And then you have to take it into your own creative,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you can't teach someone to be creative.
No.
So you can't learn how to be creative off YouTube.
No.
So you can to a degree if you copy someone else, but that's not really being creative.
Watching.
Yeah, that's it.
Depends what you're
Yeah, but
like there's plenty of amazing films, and
yeah,
I don't know,
yeah,
like it literally goes back to skateboarding and BMXing. If you look at the guys how they film, it's just next level. Like I don't know anyone else or any like Hollywood movie that films in another similar way or fast environments with like alternative music or underground music. Like it's pretty unique.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And I feel like that not just in the video format has that scene affected drifting, but I would say through style and, like you look at skateboard decks and, the style and the art that goes into that.
Yeah.
And like so much of that really pours into drifting and what makes cars look cool and the paint jobs and stuff like that. Like there's such a big connection between skating and drifting that I'm not sure that everyone sees, but it's definitely there. Yeah.
There is.
So, but no, thanks heaps for coming on. Oh,
that's all right. Yeah. I'll say one last thing. We need like some scooter rider to like come and bring that influence into
Please no.
Oh no.
really twist it up.
Yeah. Throw some, something different into the mix.
Yeah, sure. Nah, like but anything can be done. Like you can take any kind of style and make it work. It just has to be done right, you know. So and not copying someone else. For instance, like what comes to mind, and when I say that, I know that we're probably like dragging you on a bit and kind of rambling, but the guys that did the VHS style video format where they literally just brought out like a camcorder. I think it was the Halfway. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Rush. Yeah, have been doing a lot of
John Hill from Rush.
Yeah, all his stuff.
Such a cool style,
Check him out.
Yeah, definitely,
100%.
definitely. What's his Instagram?
Rush VHS.
I think it's just Rush. Yeah.
Oh, has it changed? Yeah, I think it's Rush _VHS. We have shouted him out before. He did upload a video from Port Macquarie, and that was super cool.
And and there's a style that someone's gone like, that's cool. That retro look is cool, and they've built on it and done that and turned out really high quality stuff. So there's different ways to do it. You don't have to pull it from whatever you're doing or Scott Mitchell or Luke Huxton, whoever in the community. Look outside it and bring something new. Don't go and stand next to all the other media guys at a circuit. It's doing your own thing, So but yeah, thanks for coming on, man. Like I've learned a lot, and I really hope that it reinforces into people how much they don't need to spend. And how good a quality videos you can get with just relatively basic gear as well, you know? So
Do that.
Don't overdo it, same as a drift car.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Always.
But yeah, thanks heaps for coming on, man. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you enjoyed it, and we look forward to more videos coming from you, man. And thanks for doing all the videos that you do and traveling around and everything like that. And I know it costs money and everything to do this. It's not cheap. Like
sure does.
So yeah. And if you see Josh out at the track or down Halfway or wherever, and just go give him a crisp high five.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Preferably not while he's filming. So if he's busy, leave him alone. But no, sweet, man. Thanks heaps for coming on, hey, and we'll definitely chat to you again soon.
Sweet.
Cheers, boys. Thanks for having us, man.
No worries. Catch you, dude.
See you, man. Bye.
Bye.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Go check out Joybreak's shop.
Yep.
He has it all on his website. He has awesome
show the shirt,
jackets that I wear around everywhere now because it's the best. And his t-shirt, stickers. So go check him out. He's a rad dude.
I linked it in the video, and I will link it in the audio only to go to his Instagram page and his Facebook. It should work in the video links, hopefully. So, but other than that, just search Joybreak
It'll be the first thing that pops up.
Yeah, on Facebook and Instagram, and yeah. So
Sweet. So
news.
let's do some news because I forgot to do it last week or last fortnight.
We better do some kind of news.
Better do some news. Drift Masters European Championship was on this weekend. I have been at work, so I didn't actually get to watch any of the videos.
Good job.
But hey, you did have work. Leave me alone. You could have watched. The last few clips I saw from Riga and that area were pretty crazy. I mean, I think we saw a BMW flip, so that was pretty crazy.
Right.
That was on, so go check out the videos from that.
Mm-hmm.
Next weekend, we have Formula Drift at St. Louis. So that'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
If you're into that one.
It was Formula Drift was on in Japan recently as well.
I didn't get to see any of that one.
I actually watched the live stream of it, and I do have to say that Wayo's S15 looks fucking ridiculous.
It looks like a trophy truck, hey?
It does.
It looks, every time I see it, I'm like, can we please go back to an 86?
He's just got to be trolling, like, seriously.
But it's ridiculous. Like,
It's
I follow him
grippy
on
and
Instagram,
insane.
and they did a couple of practice track days, and you can just see it, like, shoot off in whatever direction he wants it to. It is mental.
Yeah, he's still a solid driver. Like,
he's a nutcase.
Yeah, and that car is pretty fucking mental for what it is.
So
But it looked like a relatively decent event. I actually liked watching that one because it was actually in the wet. So everyone was on very much so the same playing field in that one. And it was quite interesting to watch that one. So I would say if you're going to watch a Formula Drift Japan episode, watch that one. It wasn't too bad. Like, I just had it playing while I was in the garage. So
mint.
Yeah.
And we've got D1 GP coming up on the 24th and the 25th, so that's probably around the next time we'll have our episode, so tune in for that. That's at Ebisu, so that'll be a very good event. Always carnage, always.
Yeah.
Just insanity. It'll be cool. I can't remember what track they're
And that
driving
was on next month? I thought that was already on.
On the 25th.
Okay, there you go.
So, yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah.
Does it say which track they're on?
I don't know. Does it? Ebisu Circuit.
This says Ebisu Circuit. Well, it'll be on one of the tracks.
Oh, it was Formula Drift that's already been to Ebisu. They've already done their Ebisu round. That's what I'm getting confused about. Yeah.
But yeah, Alexi will be doing the English live stream, so tune in for that because he's probably the best commentator for drifting over that way there is. So yeah.
Yeah, no, sweet.
If you're in Brisbane and you want to learn drifting, Archie's doing their beginner night this Tuesday, so jump down there for that. That'll be good. So
yeah, and I saw that Luke is offering, on the Tuesday night, it's going to be beginners, so with free tutoring. So
yeah, if you want someone to jump in the car with you and give you some advice, and you're starting out, perfect time to.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And Drift Masters was literally on today and yesterday in South Australia for the Australian Drift Masters.
Too. Yes.
Yeah, I haven't heard who won.
I didn't see who won, but I saw a couple of battles from Zach Bognar's Instagram, and it looked crazy.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, qualifying was pretty nuts too. So
I really like that track that it's got a hotel right at the track, and that they were doing breakfast. And
I think we need to plan a trip down there.
Yeah, I think so. I've got a few
cool.
friends down there. So if anyone's down there that does drifting quite regularly or holds any events, do send us a message.
Yeah, would be keen.
But but other than that, I'd say that is about it.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. It's been an awesome episode, very educational experience.
There is... Oh, well, might as well talk a little bit about October Matsuri.
Yes.
Because you're driving.
I'm driving October Matsuri. Brendan's going to be there, and my good friend Ben's going to be there. We're all going to try and set up a little stand, if not get a garage. So
yeah,
come down and see us, say hi, ask for a passenger run. Why not?
Yeah, I was getting some other stickers made, and I decided to get a couple of test stickers made up in 2 different sizes for the Drift Podcast. I only have about like 5 of each, unfortunately. But
so the first 10 people that show up at Matsuri.
Pretty much. The first 10 people to give me a crisp high five get 1 each. So me or Ben. So
Mint.
come find us at Matsuri and
Hit us up for a Paso run because we're more than happy to take you out.
yeah, and I might even be selling some of the a limited run of our key screwdriver key
keys and
handles.
stuff,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I might be doing a limited run of that. I might be selling these may be either available through us or I'll work out some deal with Pecky. So they may be available at his or at wherever we end up. So
Yeah, very good.
yeah, awesome guys. Well, we shall catch you next time.